one more time on the exit. No Type-C. Oh wait, they put a fast charge in the box. I think he said that, yeah. What's up guys, it's your man Jay, and we're gonna discuss the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max. So this is just a discussion video, disclaimer. So it might be a little lengthy, so if you don't like lengthy discussion videos, feel free to click off and go watch unboxings from other YouTubers. At the moment, I don't have the device, but I do have that dummy unit, but I'm not even gonna mess with that. I want to basically talk about my impressions of the devices, and I'll do that in this video. So let's get going. So I want to start, I'm just going to flip-flop back and forth between the positives and the negatives that I've seen, because there are negatives and there are positives. Now, Apple is pulling the wool over your eyes again, or trying to. But I'm here to point out some things that should have changed, that didn't change, and I'm not so much falling for the hype of me just really liking the device. Now, the 11 is what they pretty much presented to talk through all of the things. So if you pay attention, the 11 is what they want you to buy. They have this Pro version of the phone, and they tried to really highlight that the cameras is all they're talking about. But in reality, this presentation was just about the 11, and they pretty much told you that, and they're telling you you should probably just buy this one for $699 and get it over with. Because the only thing you're missing out on is that telephoto lens. So the Pro thing, still not buying into it. That's just me personally, but this is just my perspective on this. Let's think clearly now. Let's just not fall for the hype all over again. I see people talking about the pricing. Well, I disagree with the pricing. Apple is still pulling one over on you, folks. They still have a 64 gig model for $1,000. 256 gigs SD card, $1,000 bucks, $1,099. Even though I traded in an iPhone and got 600 bucks, and I'll get to that in a minute. But they still have a 64 gig. Now, the 512 gig model of these devices are $1,400 and $1,500, pretty much. $14.99 and $13.99 for the 512 gig models with no expandable storage, right? So when I say they're pulling the wool over your eyes, that's one thing that I'm pointing out. You don't have to take that advice at all. You know what I'm saying? Get the 64 gig for $1,000 bucks. If you have a trade-in, maybe that'll make it a little bit better. But there should not be a 64 gig model on a Pro device. 64 gig, 256 gig, or 512. This is how Apple gets you to spend more money. A Pro device should at least have 256 gig. Let's just reference that again. They're harping about it being a Pro model, and that the iPhone 11 is just for everybody else. It's $300 less, and you're pretty much getting the same device. They didn't change the front of the design of the device. They highlighted so many positives on the 11 that's kind of like we're going to be fair and at least tell you that's the better purchase. Think of it this way. They've already discontinued the XS and XS Max. They didn't even keep those in the lineup. They could have. Instead, they kept the 8 and the XR. Now, we're talking about the 8. You're keeping the 8 over the XS and the XS Max, and you're keeping the XR, which was their best-selling iPhone. That's a wake-up call for you. You don't need to buy the Pro model. If you just, I mean, there are people out there that are going to buy the Pro model for the bigger screen probably, or the extra cameras because it's a Pro. Yeah, but I don't think so. I think the pricing is all wrong because of the memory options. I'm not saying, but basically what I'm saying is we should have if this is a Pro, we should have a starting point of at least 128 gigs on the memory. No? Anybody disagree? Now, I haven't watched anybody else's videos, so they might be calling this out too. However, I don't think so. Paying $1,000 for a 64 gig device from Apple is played out. Flat out, played out. Now, when it comes to the processing power, add a number, tell everybody it's better. They can shake a leg at the Snapdragon processors, but the Snapdragon processors are very efficient. Unfortunately, that depends on device. But one thing I can say to Apple's credit, they're right. The processors in the Apple devices are powerful, but I'm not using them to the full potential. I just use it for video recording, text messaging, social media. I'm honest. I mean, I'm not using that device to its full potential. I'm not going to be out shooting movies. I'm just going to do YouTube videos with it. But the difference is, with this device, I think now that I have Power Director Pro, this 6.8 inch display, expandable storage, yeah. 1,500 for 512 gigs on the big model is just ridiculous. And then 1,400, and this is in between taxes, if you will, because that device, if I get the 512 model and I'm paying that full cost with no trade-in or anything like that, yeah. This is why Apple created the Apple Card. I didn't get an Apple Card. I'm not getting an Apple Card. Have no intentions on getting an Apple Card. Not gonna say oh, it's a bad card. I'm just not getting it. I'd rather keep my 0 interest rate credit card that I've had for years and just get it that way. But Apple now created monthly plans to pay for these iPhones because they really want you to get them. That's their way of kind of stealing you from the carriers, I think. Contract is a contract. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the memory options. I'm not a fan of the pricing because of the memory options. That should have started off at 128. If you disagree, something's wrong. Unless you're saying they should have started off at 256 gig, which is respectable. They could have come with just 2 memory options or been a boss and brought a terabyte version for that 1,300 or 1,200 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They got to come correct. Now, I haven't seen anybody mention, but I haven't watched anything but the keynote event. So if there's videos out there, respectfully, if you saw it in another video, okay, comment down below. I don't need to know. I don't need you to put other people's videos in my video. I don't need to know who it is. But hey, Jay, someone did talk about that, and they didn't agree either. Lightning cable. There's still no Type-C. At least I didn't see any. And I'm looking right here at the schematics. I don't see any mention of a Type-C. Nope. No. Apple refuses to do the right thing and just make it a Type-C. And while they were talking about 1,200 nits, that's the max nits. I don't know, man. Typical is 800, which is still good. But yeah. So no in-screen fingerprint reader. You know, yeah, people are harping on the Pro model because it's got a telephoto lens. I don't know. This isn't so much going to be all about the downsides. The upsides is where Apple is still winning. It's 4K recording at 60 frames per second now on all of the cameras, front and rear. Boss, Apple. I got to give it up to you. Freaking boss. That's just boss. Android OEMs, take notes. Take notes. They now have 4K recording on the front and the rear. And the software that they showed off where I can grab, if I did want to shoot like a movie type setting, you know what I'm saying? All those cameras can record at the same time with that software. I'm digging that. Might be something I have to purchase just to really get the best out of the Pro model. So, you know, with the 4K recording and unlimited on all the cameras, that's what they said. I'm digging that. Another thing that I'm digging, and personally, this is all personal preference, the only color that's boss is the midnight green. All other colors kick rocks. The midnight green is the boss, and we're talking about the Pro model. The 11, I don't want any more red iPhones, yellow. The green on the iPhone 11, lame to me. All those colors are lame to me, probably except for the black model if they had one of those. All those other colors I'm not interested in. The midnight green, of all the colors they show today, the midnight green, boss. Boss up color. I'm just saying. That's my personal preference. So I'm rocking with the midnight green crew, straight up. Especially if you're a veteran, you one of us, I better see you with that midnight green. Boss. And it's like it's matte on the back now. Boss up color, Apple. Boss, you did boss by that. So Apple is touting the Pro models to be the pros because of the cameras. And honestly, I really can't disagree right now. I don't have the device, but I think those cameras might shut down the G8 and the Note 10 Plus. Based on what I saw, Apple's products for video recording, in my experience, has to be under really good lighting to really get that true effect. I mean, you're talking about from a creator, I want to use the phone to create content. And also another boss thing that I saw was the ability to edit differently now. The editing software, I can't wait to check out editing on the device, man. I think that's going to be super boss. So that's sweet. Another thing I'll probably jump into, which I didn't think I would, but for $5, that Apple support, that Apple streaming service joint, that Apple TV thing, it's time to boss up, J. Will. It's time to go ahead and kick that $5 a month. Right now, we have like $15 for the Apple Music for the family or whatever. I might have to go ahead and spring for that $5 a month. That's just boss mode. And I want to do it right away. When I buy the new iPhone, I get a year free. A year. That's boss. And I appreciate them doing that. I'm all about that right there. The movie C and all that stuff, okay, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But that $5 and then I get a year free, they're definitely gonna hook me in with that. Now remember, I've purchased every iPhone. I have iMac, iPad, MacBook Pros, and iPhones. And I'm gonna more than likely trade in an iPhone 8. Because I traded in. Let's talk about trade-ins. Here's where Apple decided to take the 10R. Let's rewind. Apple decided to kill off the 10s and 10s Max. There should be a lot of people upset about that, especially if they bought those phones. And then they're keeping the 10R and the iPhone 8. Now the iPhone 8, the trade-in is $220, and then the iPhone 8 Plus, the trade-in is like $280 or $270 or something through Apple. But if you go through Best Buy, which is probably what I'm gonna do, they're offering $280 or $260 or something like that. Now the problem with that is my military discount for my midnight green is good. It's good. I've always been, Apple gives great discounts for military personnel. So I'm already getting a steep discount, or a nice discount on the iPhone and everything in the Apple store. I get a nice discount. So I guess the smart thing will be to do is just go ahead and let them grab that iPhone 8. Just give it to them for the $220 or whatever. Because, you know, I could get a 512 or a 256 gig iPhone Pro, 11 Pro, for a really nice price. Like 10R pricing or 11 pricing, 10R pricing. Yeah, really, really nice. So I might rock out like that. I'm not sure yet. But I can just use my military discount at the store through Apple, and then just go sell my iPhone to Best Buy just to get the money to get something else. You know, just hold on to that gift card or whatever. But the iPhone launch event was kind of boring. I was muting it out when they was talking about all the software. I was muting it out during most of that stuff. You know, I was recording videos or just doing something else, washing dishes or whatever I was doing. The iPhone 11 Pro is nice. I've said it since day one that I plan on skipping like the 11R or whatever it's going to be called, and it's now called the 11. I plan on skipping that one, and I plan on grabbing the 11 Pro, which I turned in my 10 to Samsung on a great deal. Now trades, back to the trades real quick. I won in that situation. I won. Apple's only giving $400 for the 10. I got $600. Samsung, clear and free. My thing has cleared. Obviously, I've had this since it launched, so my trade-in's clear. Then I turned right around and traded the 10R for another $600 for another trade-in, and all the bonuses that came with that first trade-in. Yeah. So the trade-in, if you have a 10R, they're only looking at maybe $370. It's a horrible deal. Horrible. I got my 256 gig 10R back when I got it new for like $500 or something like that. Because I got military and stuff like that. So it was less than that actually. It was like $200 out of pocket or something like that. I forget how I got a military discount, and then I traded in a 10 for $500. So I didn't pay. I paid pennies on the dollar for that 10R and traded it for $600 to Samsung. Those trade-ins that Samsung is doing for Apple products, beast mode. Now you got to get a Samsung device, but the new Apple products that's come out, the iPhones that have come out, the trade-in values are ridiculous. They're not that good. Not at all. So the iPhone 11. While I probably won't go that way, the pricing is lower. They dropped it by $50. Starts at $699. And again, it's crazy, but of those colors, the black is nice. That purple is even nice. But I'm not really feeling it. I'm not messing with this one. I just want the Pro model specifically for the color, and I want the smallest iPhone in the hand. Smallest one in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to use it a lot. More likely, it might end up being a device I just record on the channel. If it beats the Note 10 Plus and beats the G8, it might just be my go-to when I don't want to use the DSLR. But or when I'm on the go or something, I'm saying I need something to go to. But the 11 has all the features. Now think about what they did here. The 11 has all the features. Minus the telephoto lens, resolution might be different. It's gonna have better battery for sure, according to them. The 11, even though I probably won't make that purchase because I just told you why. I want the midnight green. I'm saluting on the joints, and I want a smaller iPhone. The 11 is a smart purchase, folks. Just like I told you last year, the 10R was a smart purchase. Apple knows what they're doing. They know. They know what they're doing. They told you, plain as day, look, I suggest that you buy the 11. But we didn't stop there, is what he said. Some people were waiting for it. One more, I actually thought they was going to announce the new MacBook 16-inch if it was going to be one of those, and I was ready to buy. But no more one more thing. Shout out to Vibe Nation. So the 11, smart choice. Apple's going to capitalize on that. They're going to capitalize on it. It's a smart purchase. It's smart. $699, 64 gig. I would tell a person to go ahead and just go on up to the $849 and get the 256 gig. Especially if you're a person that keeps phones for a long time and you're not going to trade in. If you're not coming from another like current day, if you have an 8 on backwards, if you have an 8 on down and you want the latest iPhone, go for the 256 gig iPhone 11. You don't have to have a telephoto lens, but you will miss out on that boss color. Again, only color I'm interested in is midnight green. Period. Nothing else. So, how do I feel about what happened today? I think that when they snuck in on us, and my military discount on the Series 3 is pennies on the dollar. Now you just imagine, I'm not gonna say my military discount for this watch for paying for it, but you just imagine the watch is only $199. You hear me? So just imagine how much my military discount is. No, I'm not buying watches and selling them, selling them to you. Sorry. That's not what you're supposed to do with that. You're supposed to be responsible with those perks that they're giving us. But some people already have the 4. If you're buying a new iPhone and don't have an Apple Watch, what am I getting ready to say? Buy the Series 3. Don't get into all the hype about swim proof and all this other stuff. The Series 3 is just a smart purchase. It's one of those things where it's not about should you, it's just a smart purchase, man. It's the smart purchase, and that's just the way it goes. With Apple, things are expensive. Very expensive. So try to get the best pricing, try to get what works. But I guarantee you that you'll thank yourself for not grabbing like the current, like just having to have the current. So my final thoughts, the Apple event, kind of boring this year. I wasn't really interested. I just wanted to see the phone. I wanted a MacBook 16-inch. I wanted Type-C. I wanted a higher memory capacity for the Pro. The pricing doesn't reflect Pro status with that memory option. There's no Type-C. It's just another iPhone with another camera and a bigger price tag. That's the way I see it. So, midnight green, folks. I'm telling you now, you're a boss if you can grab that midnight green. I don't think I'm going to settle this time. Like, if I can't get the midnight green, in the 512 or the 256 gig, I'm probably just going to wait it out until I can. You know what I'm saying? I know that the 512s always sell out fast. The 256 gigs will sell out fast. There'll be tons of 64s because that's what people are really going to buy first, probably. But the midnight green, folks, the midnight green is the one to get as far as this channel goes. I'm not knocking on anybody who don't get it. The midnight green to me is the boss up color iPhone, period. That flat matte, oh man, what you talking about? So that's my thoughts on the event, man. The Series 3, even though I already have an Apple Watch, obviously I'm not buying an Apple Watch, but as far as the phones go, I recommend you get the 11. Heck, if you're not too impressed or you want to save even more money, get you an 8 Plus or a 10R. They dropped the price on it, man. It's a smart thing to do if you just want to be in the Apple ecosystem. If you have an 8, like I said before, if you have an 8 on backwards, grab the 10R previous year or get the 11. I would say just go ahead and boss up and get the 11 and trade in that iPhone that you currently have, and you'll be up to speed. Because Apple told you pretty much, like I said before, this is the iPhone I need you to buy. I don't think they're looking to sell a ton of the Pro models. I don't. Because it definitely doesn't compete. When it comes to Pro, the name Pro, this is a plus. And I don't think based on those numbers, like memory options and things you can do with the device, I don't think that price tag is warranted considering how much the Note 10 brings to the table on paper. The 10 is no freaking slouch. And all the people out there that are going to say, oh, the cameras on the current iPhone are already better than the Note 10's cameras. Well, I'm going to put the new iPhone up against the G8. Worthy competitor. The G8 has knocked out some heads in the past. And I think the iPhone 11 Pro is a go. I'm really ready for it. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on the event, man. Not much, a little bit of a lengthy discussion, but that's how it goes down, man. Apple still kind of pulling it over your eyes a little bit, man. Just be mindful. This is my thoughts on it. I've gotten a lot of direct messages about how do you feel about it. That is how I feel about it. They don't get a pass because it's a new color and I like, or that it's got 3 cameras on the back. That Pro stuff, again, I'm only using it for what I need it for. And I'm not going to take advantage of any of that stuff more than likely, and I'm probably wasting money. But as a creator, I feel the need that I have to have the latest tech. And I'm a techie like that. So, are you getting a new iPhone? Or are you going to stick with what you currently have? 10s and 10s Max owners, you should be a little upset. You can tell me you're not upset, but you should. Because the trade-in values from Apple doesn't matter to memory. That's the bad part. So all you people out there who have the 10s Max, the biggest option, or the 10s and the biggest option, or just any option, the winners in that situation are the people that have 64 gigs. I learned firsthand that buying the highest memory options, it's not a good look when it comes time to trade in or sell. But normally when I get an iPhone, I keep it the entire time until the next iPhone comes out. It just so happened that the 10 lasted the longest of all the iPhones that I had. So I made $600 on that joint. What can I do? There you go. It's your man Jay. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the new Apple devices, man. It probably didn't sound too positive, like I was really impressed. But reality is, I am impressed. It's just that the negativity that Apple kicks off and try to close your eyes on things, I'm not going to overlook it. So do I need to recap one more time on the exit? No Type-C. Oh, wait. They put a fast charge in the box. I think he said that. Yeah. Yeah, but the price tag doesn't match the memory. So no Type-C. Lame memory options. Still pulling us on that. What else? I guess I'll leave it at that. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Discussion, smartphone conversations. Let's do it.